Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Welcome and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, I'm Bena D. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way in, y'all. And if you've been here before, well, you already know. Today, I want to focus on why you should always listen to your gut instinct when in doubt. See, my body, I listen to my body. And I know a lot of people don't listen to their bodies, but I listen to my body, especially when I'm picking up on bad vibes. You know why? Because sometimes deep and down inside of myself, I get those feelings. And they come from like in my gut area. Like it's like a second brain, if I want to say. When something just doesn't feel right about a person, I always make sure that I listen to that. And I get that a lot. And I know a lot of people always saying like, damn, B, you always got something to say. Yeah, because there's always these people that I'm picking up on. I like to think that I make these decisions rationally because I try to help everybody else and I listen to everybody else, but I always wind up in a sucker position and I just don't want that for myself. So today I want to give you 3 reasons why you should always listen to your gut instinct rather than listening to those behavioral patterns when responding to certain situations. And the first reason is because when you get that first impression about somebody, have you ever been in a situation where when you meet somebody you never met before and you just get this funny feeling about them? It just doesn't sit right with you. And you don't know why. It's like, why do I feel like this about this person? Everybody else seems to be getting along with this person. But for some strange reason, you just got this funny, weird feeling about that person. That's because you are getting signals, you're getting signs, and this is your intuition coming into play. Because so often we start thinking away those feelings just because we want acceptance from other people, feeling that someone we clearly can feel is not right, but instead of us listening to it, we don't acknowledge it and we just ignore it because we don't want to hurt the person's feelings. It may be somebody that's in a high, authority position. It could be like a doctor or a teacher, or maybe it's just somebody trying to be very nice to you. But for some reason, you ain't feeling it because you put labels on these people. You overthink that voice inside and you silence it, only to find out later that your gut feeling was right about that person. Because how about you might have found out that that person might have been a scammer, a fraud. They do whack stuff to people, always having motives of why they want to help somebody. You know when something is off about certain people because you can feel it. You ever had that? I know I have. I will be driving somewhere and, instead of my mind will tell me, make this right. But instead of me listening to myself, I'll keep going straight just because I want to take the shortcut to get wherever. And sure enough, every time I've done that, I've always wound up in a situation. Do you know that happened to me one time where my mom was telling me, B, don't go that way because even though that's the shortcut, I want you to go this way. And I didn't listen to it. Do you know that I almost had a car collision because I was driving so fast, and when I made the turn, I didn't see, because cars have blind spots, so I didn't see the car coming from this way. He almost T-boned me. If I would have listened to myself, I would have never had that situation. Thank God I was so quick with it and I stopped right before he actually hit me. Let me tell you, he was going so fast that when he did stop, the smoke, ooh, it was just like rising. It was so crazy and it was the weirdest thing. That's why I know that from now on, when I get that feeling or I hear that voice inside telling me to do something, I listen. Because I know that that's my intuition telling me the right thing. So I want y'all to know that if y'all ever get that feeling where y'all feel, even though it might take you out of your way and it might be extra work, sometimes it's for your own good. Start listening to yourself because that's your warning sign. Another reason why you should listen to your gut instincts is because y'all, when y'all get that inner voice, you know how when you hear that low, that whisper, and it's telling you, but it's real subtle. It's not really like a warning. It doesn't sound like it's a warning. So you kind of like overthink it sometimes just because it's not pressing you. It whispers to you, that advises you when something is not right. You should listen to that. You'll notice that something inside of you is silently telling you that something ain't right. Don't ignore that voice. Let me tell you why I'm telling you this. Because one night, me and my cousin, we went out. We was hanging out. We was just enjoying our night. And we was in the city. We was on 42nd Street. So everybody's chilling. You know, they doing their thing. But you always got that one set, that one group that's just up to no good. So as we walking, we getting close. It's like 3 of them over there. My cousin catches homeboy pulling out. When I say pulling out, I mean, pulling out that heat on the next dude. Next thing you know, we hear pop, 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 pop. Before we could turn, everybody was like charging us because they was running from those guys. Prior to that, we had already got up out of Dodge because my cousins peeped it. Because he's street, so he knows when something ain't looking right. I'm more of a homebody, so I don't really know certain things to look for. I'm so glad I was with my cousin and that he listened to himself. Because before homeboy decided to even pull out, my cousin knew they was up to no good over there. But let me tell you, people got hurt that night. And thank God it wasn't none of us. A person like me or a person like you, we probably will be like, oh, they just over there doing what everybody else is doing. Not that night. And I'm so glad that my cousin was with me because it saved my life. And it saved his too. So listen to your gut all the time. I know a lot of people don't believe in stuff like that because some people is more, they have to see it to believe it. But when you have intuition, you won't have to go through that because you're going to change that situation. So the third and the last reason why I'm telling you guys you should always listen to your gut is when you need to make a quick decision. Sometimes you got to think fast. And in certain situations, when you have to make a quick decision, especially when you're dealing with an emergency, listening to your gut intuition can definitely save your life. Like for example, I was driving one night. This is when I used to live in the country because I used to live in Atlanta for a while. I didn't really know my way around it at first, but where I used to live at, it was kind of like suburban, and at nighttime, it wasn't many lights. So this particular night, it was late. I'm coming home from the party. I'm enjoying, I'm feeling good. So I'm not paying attention to anything that might hurt me. But for some reason, something said, B, move over to the middle lane a little bit because it just wasn't feeling right that night. Even though, everybody else was, they were still going in the middle lane. They were still riding regular. But for me, something was like, just move over. I didn't move over fast enough. But as I was pulling over, and I like to drive fast. So as I'm pulling over, I didn't realize that it was a big gaping hole in the middle of the street. And I just caught the end part of that hole. I hit that hole so hard, y'all, that that mirror that's in the front, I think that's a rear view mirror, it disengaged from the window itself. Just imagine had I been going that fast and just would have hit that hole. My whole front end would have been in that hole. God knows what would have happened to me. I didn't know whether I hit something or whether it was just a hole. I didn't know till the next day until I came back down that same road and finally see that it was it wasn't just a pothole, a regular pothole from wear and tear. No, this was a big gaping hole like the earth was missing. But I'm so glad that I listened to my instinct because that really saved my life. That means that your intuition is important and it should never be ignored. So if you guys have ever had that situation or you're going through something like that and you feel like, oh, I'm always second guessing myself because I feel like I'm paranoid or somebody's not going to like me or somebody's going to say something about it, don't worry about all of that because those warning signs are your signs that will save you. The problem is that if we are not in the right places and we don't follow ourselves, we're not going to be happy. We're going to wind up in a bad situation. And then that's when you got to tell people your story. And people, you know how people are. Most people don't even care that something happens to you. So when you listen to yourself, you can save yourself all of that. When something doesn't feel right and it feels off about something or a person, when you're in doubt, always know that these are signs to change something. Don't ever ignore the warning signs because these are your sixth sense that are giving you the safety that you need in order to make it. So I hope that you learned something from it. And if you did, leave your comments down below and let me know how you feel about this video. Share this video with any and everybody that you think it would help so that we can help more people like me and you. Remember guys, stay in your love and your light. Love yourself like I love you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.